Hey guys, so I got a different gun to do a video on today. This is a RDW. It's basically a PDW. This is OEM by Dboys. I know for a fact I've not had any of these AEGs on my channel. These are cool though. Some of them are hard to find. Even these RDWs, the Dboys ones are pretty hard to find. Dboys just doesn't, I guess, import as many as some other brands to the United States, so they're like always out of stock. They're not that popular, they really aren't, for a couple reasons, a couple good reasons, but it really does make a good base gun for an HPA, but there's some problems with that, with places to storing a battery, but I'll get to that stuff later. This is a completely stock AEG, besides some pop-up work, so you're going to see the whole gearbox, everything in there is stock, so you're going to get to see how it shoots pretty similarly if you buy it brand new or used as stock. Basically, it's going to have an upgraded fusion engine inside. I'm going to change the grip out. There's going to be a red dot on here. He has an amplifier and a tracer, so he can switch, to see which one he wants. Like outdoor, he could use an amplifier, and then indoor, he could use a tracer with tracer BBs. I think that would be a cool setup. Just start from the back and go to the front. So this is a side folding stock. It's one position, so you can't adjust it. It's got a rubber pad on the back. It's pretty comfortable as far as the length. I really don't have any complaints for it. It's maybe a little short for some people. So for some bigger people, tall people with long arms, they're going to want something a little bit bigger. But for me, this is, for your average person, this stock's going to be pretty good. And again, it side folds and kind of clips on the side, which is pretty cool. So you can store this, or it makes it good for shipping purposes as well because it's a smaller box. So the pistol grip on here is also a short style pistol grip, which is honestly pretty comfortable. It's smooth, there's no notch here. I like it, it's quite short. I believe it still has a long type motor in here though. I don't see there being in any different size motor. It doesn't really matter because it's being HPA'd anyways, but I would say it's probably a long type motor because there's no way medium types are in only a few guns, and a short type would you have a motor cage, and there's no way there's a motor cage inside of here. The body on this gun is metal. Now, as far as quality on it, it actually seems pretty similar to the VFC. So people kind of regard VFC PDWs to be like top notch. Honestly, these Dboy metal body ones are amazing. Lancer Tactical did some plastic body ones that were kind of junk. And then I think Lancer Tactical even did metal ones, which are probably just OEM Dboys, which is what this is. So they kind of come from different licensings, I guess, but if it is OEM Dboys, this is basically what you're getting. The markings might just vary. But it's a good quality gun as far as externals. There's no wobble on it whatsoever. It's a one-piece upper here. It's got a rail system on the front. It's got short on this side, just because, I guess. I'm not sure why, maybe for your fingers. And then the longer one here, and then on the bottom, and a monolithic on the top. It comes with two flip-up sights, which are nice quality. These are like the KAC styles, and they're actually not bad at all. Like, these are solid sights coming from a cheaper airsoft gun. The body on here, the lower receiver is metal. It says RDW on this side, and then on the other side it says RDW as well, and small logo, and then there's some just markings for Cal 6x6 millimeter. So cringy. It's an airsoft gun. Magazine catch is ambidextrous, which is awesome. I love these magazine catches so much. The selector switch is also ambi, which is nice. The selector switch clicks pretty good. When you take these apart over and over again, you can have problems with it. And with the fusion engine, I don't think the ambi feature is going to work, so it's just going to be on the one side. Talking about the body, there is a sling swivel QD spots all over the gun. One right here, and then one in the back. You got a little loop here for standard sling mount if you want, but you got two on the receiver right there, which is really helpful for those people that like those one-point slings, which I don't use slings at all. I just do open plays. The charging handle here has a functional bolt lock. You got to push it forward. That's not too big of a deal. Bolt lock over here. It's just on the one side. Closes. Pretty cool. It's nice that that feature is there. That's the VFCs have that. If you have a PDW that doesn't do that, it's a cheaper and it's an older one. But Dboys has updated this to have the bolt lock feature. The hop-up in here is a Lonex with a G&G green bucking and the stock inner barrel. That's what the guy I bought it from said it was. It shoots really good, .25s. I have not chronoed it, so we'll see a little bit later. But it shoots far, it shoots accurate, so I'm hoping that this stock setup is going to be able to be ran with the Fusion engine. I hope I don't have to change that out. My friend's just going to be using like 2.5s or 3s, probably 3s, so I don't need to get like a Pro one or a Max hop up that I can, you know, hop .4s or anything like that. None of that here. So I kind of skipped over the barrel here. I apologize about that. The outer barrel system is like golf ball textured, which is pretty cool, and it even comes with an extension that puts it about this long. But then there's just the orange tip on here, which does have a set screw, and it's probably glued as well. But I'll have to take that off for him because my homie is going to be using a tracer and an amplifier. But it is basically a free float barrel. It's not very loose in there at all. It's nice and solid. These guns are hefty. Like when you hold them, this feels like a standard M4, but it's hefty and solid. There's no wobble whatsoever on this gun at all, and you want that considering I think these are retailing for $220 to $240, I think. You might have to double check on that, which is a great price for one of these because I think the VFCs are like $400. They're expensive. So to be able to get this for a little bit over $200 is not a bad price at all. I think they're about $250. Good, you know, money for the gun. You're going to get some good quality stuff on here. It is going to come with that extension, like I said. It's also going to come with 2 mid caps. One of them is broken, which the guy I bought it from didn't say that, but it comes with 2 of these. They hold, I'd say probably 120. I put about 100 in here, just not to overfill it. Don't overfill your mid caps. There's 2 5s in there, but it comes with 2 of those in the extension, and it also comes with a PEC box with a battery inside of it, and it's a 1600 milliamp, and I'm hoping it's a 9.6, but it might be an 8.4, which is beyond cringy. I wouldn't use this with anything but an 11.1. Just use an 11.1. When it explodes, HPA it. Take it to a tech. You know, it might last you a year or 2. Save your money and buy a Fusion engine or a F2. Those are the 2 engines that I'd use in this gun. I would not use a Jack or F1 because I have tried to tune one of these guns with a Jack inside of it, which is an open bolt system, and it never worked properly. It shot awful. So I would recommend an F2 or a Fusion engine because those are forward bias nozzles where you can put closed bolt on, which just helps so much with consistency. As far as the internals, back to what I was talking about, I don't think it's a neomagnet motor. Some of these can come with JG Blues, which if you get one with the JG Blue, you're golden because those are great motors. But I put a magnet or a screwdriver up to it and it didn't stick, so I don't think it has a neomagnet motor. So you're going to have a standard crappy motor. The gearbox is standard. Like I took the upper off and you can just tell it's got like a cheap colored nozzle. It's got a cheap piston. It's all plastic teeth. There's probably an M120 in here. It sounds like it's shooting pretty hard. There's like almost no pre-cocking to it. Even with an 11.1 on semi, there's like none, so it's a weak motor, you can tell. Stock Chinese gears, just your basic parts that haven't been... This is what you'd find in like a JG like 10 years ago, 8 years ago. It's just what has been out since like 2008. It's just your standard TM copy Chinese guns. So for that, it doesn't perform that well. That's why I would use an 11.1, because if you're using any other battery, you're going to be shooting like 10 rounds a second, and your trigger response is going to be really bad. So I just recommend tossing an 11.1 in here, running it till it blows up, and then throwing some upgrades for AEG into here, or just HPA it. Okay, let's test it with a high cap, because that mid cap is just not working out for me. 327, 321, 320, 323, 323, 321, 327, 324, 321, 324. So that's pretty consistent now that we got a good mag in there. 1.22 joules with 2.5, so nothing crazy. That's probably 370 with a 0.2, so a little bit lower than what I was expecting. That is with the hop up adjusted and a little bit of overhop with 2.5s. And let's try rate of fire. 15.3. So it's 15 rounds a second with an 11.1 LiPo. Trigger response is not very good. In fact, I can outrun the gun easily. See that? I am almost outrunning the gun right there with an 11-1. So this gun just does not have good performance as far as trigger response and rate of fire, but it has potential. The body on this thing is very similar to the VFC, I'm just going to say it. So the gun feels great, it's just got some internal problems, but I would just run it till it explodes. Get this gun, throw a big 11-1 on here, you grab some high caps, go out and play with it. You might play with it 3, 4, might be able to get 10 times out of it, and then it breaks, and then you HPA it. But that will be up to you. Okay, so I'm gonna turn the hop up a little bit. It's a little bit under hopped. All right, there we go. I got it over hop now. Yeah, man, when there's no wind out here, it is shooting for days. Well, there it is. I'm pretty much out of ammo. Man, this gun's not the funnest to shoot. After the wind died down, though, man, it was shooting so far. But if you have any questions or anything, let me know. And by the time this video is coming out on this gun, it's probably already done, HPA'd, because I'll probably upload this in a week or two. So I'll see you guys in the next one.